Greetings once again. Next up, Mindy and I took a quick trip to 7-Eleven, and well, here it is. Might as well just keep it rolling the whole time. Oh, hang on, I'll get the eyepiece for you. This eyepiece. All that eye cup thing does is amplify the picture. Focus. That means it's on manual focus. Oh, I have my wallet in my pocket. I don't think I'll bring my gloves with me this time. There is the television flickering. For example, if I put it on the monitor here, it'll probably flicker as well. Yeah, it does a little bit. Hard to tell because the picture's so big. We are going now, ladies and gentlemen, to 7-Eleven to buy some toilet paper. It's raining out. It's not pouring, it should be okay. If it starts pouring, then stuff it under your jacket. Those things are built to deal with moisture anyway. Well, let's hurry. And hurry. Oh, mess of cars coming. We are now at 7-Eleven, ladies and gentlemen.
Pause. Greetings, everyone. This is Sean coming at you circa 2009. Ooh, it's Sean from the future. Yes, well, I just wanted to pause here briefly because I don't actually know offhand how much 7-Eleven footage I have. And this 7-Eleven in Selkirk, Manitoba was like where my friends and I would go all the time. Anytime my friends would come out for the weekend, we would go to 7-Eleven and just stock up on stuff like food and entertainment, and we'd be set, man. So I just wanted to pause here briefly, just take a quick peek at what we're looking at here. Of course, on the left, you have an All Dogs Go to Heaven Standee. The VHS release was still pretty new at the time. And then you've got a couple of video games stuck in the corner there. I'm not actually sure what the one on the left is. I can't read the title on it, but the one on the right is obviously Mercs, which is a good old-fashioned run and shoot kind of thing. Lots of fun. I was in Selkirk for a couple of years, and then I moved into the city, into Winnipeg. Selkirk is about, 30 or 40 miles north of Winnipeg, just a small town. In one of the upcoming videos, you'll actually see a brief little tour of the town that I do sort of. See, I was doing around the town videos before anybody. Most people didn't even have cameras back then. So anyway, my friends and I used to go to this 7-Eleven quite often, and over the course of the 2 years that I was there, they had a huge variety of video games. They had stuff like Pit Fighter and Street Fighter 2 and some of the Neo Geo games. They had a sit-down version of Stun Runner, which was always a favorite of mine. And then they even got some pinball games in after a while. I remember they had the Simpsons pinball game, which was just fantastic. It was a great pinball game. And this was at a time when there really wasn't a lot of Simpsons merchandise either. So it was kind of interesting that they had the Simpsons pinball game. And also in an era when the handful of home games that were out really kind of sucked. But the pinball game was awesome. If you ever see the Simpsons pinball game, give it a shot sometime. Well, unless you hate pinball, of course. The other thing about 7-Eleven is you'll see in a lot of the videos I'm drinking a Super Big Gulp. That was like a staple food item in my diet back then for my friends and I. Super Big Gulps, especially on weekends. We'd get together and we'd get our obligatory Super Big Gulps. And then they also had hamburgers for $1. Yes, you could get convenience store 7-Eleven hamburgers for $1. Fantastic. And they also had nachos. And this is back in the day when you could put on as much cheese and chili as you wanted onto your nachos. They had pumps. You just pay for the nachos, and then the cheese and chili was free. you could just load that sucker up. I forget how much the nachos were. They weren't very expensive, like maybe $2 or $3. You could just make a meal out of it. So needless to say, they stopped offering that option for a while, and now I think you get a pre-arranged amount of either cheese or chili. For a long time, they didn't even have the chili pumps. They just took them right out entirely. And it wasn't until fairly recently, I think, actually, that they brought them back. And I was like, oh my God, they have the chili pumps again. And then just the section I'm about to walk into here is actually the VHS and video game rental section. So you'll basically see just a huge selection of VHS tapes. You can see just how massive the VHS rental market was at the time. I mean, this is, to put this in perspective, this is a convenience store in a small town, little farming community, 40 miles north of the one and only major city in Manitoba, Canada. So the fact that this dinky little 7-Eleven in the middle of nowhere has this many VHS tapes just shows how huge the VHS rental market was at the time. There was also a video store in town called In Video that I used to rent from quite a bit. But back in this time, I actually used to still rent. I don't really rent very much anymore, mostly just buy, because I'm more of a collector now. The other thing my friends and I would do, and started doing at this particular 7-Eleven, is we would rent video game systems and bring them home for the weekend. And they could rent video games as well there. Here's the whole sort of scenario. My friends would come out for the weekend. Most of them lived in Winnipeg, so they'd make the trek up to Selkirk to spend the weekend at my place. We would go to 7-Eleven, get our super big gulps, load up on nachos and dollar hamburgers. We'd eat some hamburgers there in the store, chatting it up with the clerks, and then we'd bring a few home with us to eat later and just microwave them. We'd get a few bags of chips, we'd rent a couple movies, a video game system, some games, and we would be set for the weekend, man. And if we needed to stock up on more supplies, because, you know, we were teenagers and pigs, the 7-Eleven was literally less than a 5-minute walk away. I mean, at the beginning, I shortened the walk to 7-Eleven, but it's pretty short to begin with. I think the total walk is about 5 minutes worth of footage. I just chopped it down so it wasn't just endless walking, and so I'd have more room for this little ramble. So anyway, I just wanted to give you sort of a little insight into why this 7-Eleven was so significant to me at the time, and also to show you the video games and the rental section and the all dogs go to heaven standee. Alrighty. Well, that's it from Future Sean to you. Let's go back to 1990 and see what younger, slimmer Sean is up to.
What else would you recommend we get? Let's see, I got $26. Isn't that pretty? This is called money. This is me picking my balls. Get a box of Gulps. Probably do with another carton of milk too. Since you couldn't fully clearly see the title, the Cracked magazine I was holding had a cover which said, "We kick the new kids off the block." I thought you'd like that. Well, we went to 7-Eleven, we got some of the things we wanted, which was toilet paper, and we also got some milk and a box of Fruit Loops, and now we're going home. The rain seems to have died down some, too. So I'd say it's safe to keep filming all the way. Filming all the way. As you can see, there are no cars anywhere near us, except for one way down there. Pizza Hut in all its nighttime gloriousness, but it's not in the sky, Mindy. This is a don't walk sign, glorious in all its oranginess. That is my imitation of a don't walk signal. Oh, gee, that was fun. Welcome back. In case you're wondering, my camera is Sony. It's 8mm. It's a camcorder. Model CCD F45, if that means anything to you. It's pretty recent. It's a 1989 model. Pretty good. I like it. Well, I mean, hey, 8mm is one of the best you can get. Mindy's getting sick of me talking about my camera because I've just been so ecstatic about it I haven't shut up about it. Mindy says for over 72 hours I've been rattling on. Anyways, wouldn't you if you were in my place? I mean, think about it. I've been wanting a camera since I was 8 years old. And now, pretty well instantly, I've got one. Right out of the blue. Mindy says I'm a spoiled brat. Yep, it is true. And you know what? I love being a spoiled brat, because it's fun. Anyways, that's about all for now. What you will be seeing next will most likely be us going to the mall, us at the mall, us buying things at the mall, and us coming home from the mall. Thrilling, eh? Anyways, that's it for now. So, until I see you again after the quest to the mall, goodbye.